long way, hit the long way, long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way. Get the shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get the shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves, yeah. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand, niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a contract, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' get the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name is Tari, I ain't playing games, so I'm letting talk. Yesterday she told me that she bout to leave, I said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. I said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for me, yeah. So we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, yeah, we get the shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. What's up, QJC? How you doing, man? Welcome. 1 second here. Well, I know it's early, so it's probably gonna be just me and you, QJC, for a while until everybody catches this later. But you know, it's not meant for everybody to catch it live anyway. You can catch this later. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, you catch this later. I am here to share my gift. LJ Young here to share his gift with that I understand that capitalism is psychological. All right. And what that means is that 6 cents, and you guys will be hearing more about 6 cents later. Sixth cents, SIXTH CENTS, 6 cents, right? And it's almost not almost, it just I can mathematically prove that it exists. You know, I could just but anyway, it exists. And I am here to kind of describe to you what is only psychological. Now, when I was in the debt matrix, and you're probably thinking, what is that? The debt matrix is a place that everybody believes is where everybody lives that believes they can own things with no money. You can own equity in them while having a mortgage. You can buy a house with a mortgage. You can buy a car with a car loan. You can buy land and property with loans and own them. And own everything and add it all up to your net worth and say, this is how much I'm worth, or my net worth is, and realizing you don't own, and you don't realize the bank's name is on every single document that you're talking about you own, right? So that's where debt slaves live. Now, I used to live in that world, right? And Now understanding that capitalism is psychological, it's almost like stepping out of like a crystal clear bubble, right? After I'm out, it's like I come out on the other side and the wealthy are there to welcome me with open arms, you know? The truly wealthy people, when I mean wealth, people that own the time in their lives and understand what it means, they're there to welcome me with open arms. It's bananas. You guys don't really understand what that means. You guys think the wealthy are big, bad, and evil, but I'm just here to tell you that that is absolutely, positively not true. You know, it's not true. Anyway, and then I turn around, then you see the bubble, and you see everybody in it, just doing life, just like the movie The Matrix, right? People just using words that they don't know what they're talking about, believing they own things with no money, buying houses, use OPM, or use words like that. OPM is called the bank's money. Debt slaves, you guys, hey, don't use my own money, use the bank, use the bank's money and leverage. You guys have no idea what you're saying, what you're talking about, nothing, because you guys don't even own yourself. So when I turn around and look at that, and when I look back at my world the way it used to be, and it's almost like talking to, say, like I come now. Remember, I'm trying to describe something to you that's psychological only. Okay, I step out of the bubble. You know, how, like in movies, you step out that the bubble still kind of sticks to you till you snap it away, and then you're on the other side. And then imagine the wealthy people saying, "Hey, welcome. You got through it. You're here." And then you turn around and I imagine myself talking to a wealthy person, and I'm looking back at the bubble, and I'm looking at them saying, "You mean to tell me I never owned those 3 houses that I financed? Nope. You mean to tell me I had no money to put into retirement? Mm-mm, no, not at all. What about all those cars I financed? You never owned any of them. Never. And you wasn't even close to owning them. You're not supposed to carry your student loans for 10 years? Nope, not at all. Who told you that? Probably the other people in that bubble, right? Because they all do it, believing it's normal. And it's like you stepping out and it's like I'm just watching all the debt slaves, just like the movie The Matrix. The debt slaves are just busy doing stuff in the background, not having a clue of what they're doing or where they're going, all thinking that they're all believing that their financial fixes it's in the future, somewhere in the future. That's why they keep selling it to you guys, because the future doesn't exist. One second. Right. So anyway, that was me, you know, and when you guys hear me talk like that, it's because that was me. That was, you know, I believed I could save for retirement while having student loan debt older than my retirement accounts. Right. It just doesn't make any sense. Of course, I'm never going to retire. Of course, you know, because my student loan debt is older than my retirement accounts. You can't do that. Anyway, so lately I've been thinking about this. Sometimes, not sometimes, but how can I? Again, I'm trying to describe the psychological to you guys physically, because you guys don't know that the psychological exists, right? So the only way the only way your mind is going to be able to comprehend it is that if I use physical examples to give you an idea. Now, when this happens, I always reflect back of what I would have did different if I had the knowledge of SMD at age 18, at age 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So I always think back at every situation I see today. So I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about these young college NFL prospects, right? that are talented, because a kid knows that if he's playing football and he's in college and he's talented, people know they're talented. So getting to the NFL is probably not as hard of a you still got to put in work, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be like, oh, I cross my fingers, I hope I get it. No, you pretty much know you're going to get it. It's not really a thought like that, right? But that's not even bragging, okay? But anyway, I imagine myself as one of those NFL prospects. I'm in college. I'm really good. Say like I'm a really, really, really good running back. I already know, and I probably known this since I was a kid, that I'm going to the NFL, period. Right? That's it. Now, if I was that age kid, knowing that I'm going to get drafted, you know what I would do while I was in college? I would today, if I had SMD knowledge today as an NFL prospect, this is what I would do. I would go, while in college, I would go look for a lawyer who specializes in NFL contracts, who is now, this lawyer must be personally debt free. Okay. All right. I would look for a debt free lawyer who specializes in NFL contract. And this is why. Okay. For two reasons. If the lawyer who specializes in NFL contracts is debt free, that tells me that that lawyer is doing that job because they want to do that job, because they love that job, because people who do not have debt don't have jobs or professions that they don't enjoy. Okay, that doesn't happen. If you don't do things, you don't work at jobs. Like if you have a job and you're debt free, you don't work at a job that you don't like, because you don't have to, right? Because you have no debt. Second of all, this lawyer is going to know why you chose them. This lawyer here that specializes, there could be a whole bunch of lawyers that specialize in NFL contracts, but if this particular lawyer that specializes in NFL contracts is debt free, that lawyer is going to know something that the other lawyers who are in debt do not know. Just trust me on that, okay? Trust me on that. So if I got, and then I found that lawyer, and then the day I signed the contract, the day of the contract signing, say like I get drafted, hey, okay, hey, we chose Linnell Young for the bloggity blah Dallas this and that for $500 million, right? Okay, cool. All right, cool. Come to the table. I already have my lawyer coming to the table. I guarantee you that doesn't happen. I mean, not all. I'm sure it does sometimes, but not as much as it should. Guarantee you that would shock the NFL. Like, what? They'll be like, what? You found your own lawyer before the Yeah, I already found my own lawyer. Yeah. We are already good to go. I would sit down at the table, especially being listen. Now remember, if I was a young, talented college, just out of college, this is what I would be. This is what I would do. Excuse me. This is what I would do. And then I would sit down, go make sure my lawyer reads over the contract, make sure and I would make sure the NFL understands something, okay? A lot of you guys really don't really get it, but you guys need to understand this. Once you own yourself, you will. I would make sure, especially as a talented football player, I would make sure the NFL knows that I am fully aware that I could possibly get killed doing this sport or getting permanently paralyzed doing this sport. In other words, my money wouldn't do anything for me at those times. I would make sure the NFL knows that I am fully aware of these possibilities. That would go against that would let them know that you already coming to the table with a set amount of money that you that you're going to accept. Not with just they have the offer. Hey, this is what we're offering you. Oh, well, no, I got my own counter offer because I know what I'm putting at risk. I'm fully aware that this could possibly happen, and you guys are going to pay me accordingly for that awareness of it. I would make sure they're aware of that. I'm like, hey, I know I could possibly get brain damage, paralyzed, death. I would make sure, okay, you guys are going to pay me for that. Why? Because I worked very hard and I'm very talented, and I'm gonna bring you guys quadruple that. I would let them know. I'd be like, hey, I do know why you guys display our salaries to the public and not your own. I'm not an idiot. If you could pay me $500 million, that means you're making way more. I understand how that works. I get it. Totally get it. It's your business. I don't care. But just make sure I am aware of that. I'm not just some dumb kid. And then as soon as I get that money, I would go hire me all my people. Listen, every single professional that is anywhere close to my money, touching it, doing something with it, every single person in that area would be personally debt free. That would be a requirement. If I would make sure everybody that's handling my money is personally debt free. That way, the probability that lowers the probability of embezzlement, financial theft, because everybody owns themselves. Everybody knows the value of time, and they're not gonna possibly give away the time in their life for stealing money. You see what I'm saying? That's how it works. Soon as I get that money, especially as a young person, you think you have to buy and pay for it. I'd tell everybody, no, no. Hey, Linnell, can you get me a car and a house? No, sure can. Why not? Because I don't want to. Man, what's up? Can you hang? Hey, we can hang around, but I'm not paying for everything. I'm just make sure everybody's clear of that. I'm not buying anybody, nobody, nothing. Because in my mind, I'm probably going to do my contract and get out. I'm probably going to do my contract, get my money, and get out and stop playing. That's what I would do if I could go back. With this knowledge, I want every people at all ages to understand that it has absolutely nothing to do with your age. Math has nothing to do with your age. If I could go back to age 18, right, with the knowledge of SMD, I would know the day I turned 18 that I'm free. I'm just telling you something I know today that I didn't know at age 18. At the age 18, I'm free. Nobody owns me at that moment. Nobody. Not even my parents. Legally speaking, of course. If I'm still living there, of course they still run stuff, but I'm just saying in general, I would know that I'm free. Now it's my job to keep it that way for the rest of my life by not following everybody around me talking about credit is the way to do anything. I would just ignore everybody. I would go out and get a job. My parents wouldn't have to tell me to do it. I would go out and get a job on my own because your parents, by letting your parents, by your parents letting you stay there for free, that's called phantom income because there's nowhere else you can live for free. So if you're staying somewhere and you don't pay rent, that means that's called phantom income because there is no other place to live for free. Free electricity, food, roof, water, everything's just there. I would go out and get a job and pay my parents without them asking me to pay them. I'd be like, "Here, take this," because I'm fully aware that I can at 18. See, you don't know this at 18, so this is why I'm telling you this. You don't know that there is no place to live for free. So that's called phantom income. Go get me a job. Parents don't have to tell me nothing. I clean up, mow the grass, whatever. Hey, there is no place I can live for free. So I'll be happy to cut the grass, clean the bathrooms, throw out the garbage. Hey, you wouldn't have to tell me nothing. You have to put me on no schedule, nothing. I'll just be doing it, stacking my bread as I go to work. With this knowledge, I'm retired by 30. Believe that. Whatever. Hey, the word retirement is, let me tell you guys something. That's a word, okay? It doesn't mean anything, but I'm gonna say it to you guys so you guys can put the image in your head. I'd be retired by 30. I could promise you that. That's a promise. 30 years old, that's like late. That would be late. If I had the knowledge at 18, SMD knowledge at 18, 30 is the maximum I would be. Put it this way, 30 would be the very maximum age I would have a job. Maximum. But between those ages, I would just use hey, okay, save, stay at home. I would be living at home the whole entire time. I wouldn't care what any girls thought of me. Hey, you're 27, still living at home. I don't care what you think. Nothing. I wouldn't even say that. Okay. They would be able to feel the energy coming from me, especially from people that are in debt. Knowing that the majority of people around me in my 20s, in my mid 20s, everybody's in debt and they don't even know it. Can you imagine? I couldn't even imagine having this knowledge at that age. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm about to be rich. I'm about to be rich. Hey, Linnell, you're getting close to 30, man. You better get look at Linnell. He's still living at home with his mama and his daddy. I'd be looking right back at him like, oh, debt slaves. You guys have no idea what you're saying. Nothing. Nothing. We're getting our first house together and this and that. While you still living at home with your mama and daddy. Whatever, debt slaves, whatever you think, whatever you believe. And then we all turn 30. They'll be inside of they'll be now 18-year-olds. I know you think 30 years old is like eons away. You're gonna be old, and that's the no, it's not. I could tell you right now, it's not old. I promise you it's not. You don't have to. I would never, and I didn't do this. I didn't do this, and I didn't need nobody to tell me this at this age. When I started seeing my body get out of control about mid-20s, I put a stop to it. I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be looking like that. I don't want my stomach looking like that. So I'd stop that. I made a choice. That's why I'm saying it right now, QJC, because saying it to an 18-year-old might, and an 18-year-old come across this and they hear it and they're like, what? I've never, because trust me, they got an 18-year-old, in order for an 18-year-old to hear this, they have to be at a right mindset, vibration, whatever you want to call it, to even hear this message. You have to already be there. You have to be there. You mean like what? Says the NCAA National College Association has strict rules regarding lawyers and agents. A player can lose their scholarship or eligibility if there is a violation. Well, I mean, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care what they thought. Hey, we had strict rules. I'd be like, regarding what lawyers? What are you talking about? You mean to tell me I can't bring my own lawyer? No way. There is no way. And I don't even have to be a lawyer to know that information. There is no way they could put some kind of restriction of what type of lawyer. Now, if you're saying this, okay, they're gonna tell me what type of lawyer I can bring to the table. Hell no. See, this is the difference. I really don't know how to explain this to people. When you have a gift, which I do, knowing that capitalism is psychological, this is a 100% gift. Okay. This goes the same for players who are gifted. Everybody knows this. Everybody know who watches. You could, especially football fans, die hard. without question, you can look at talent. You can see, oh, that's natural. Yeah, they didn't even have to practice that. Just like just like Michael Jordan, just like Michael Jordan. You can see, yeah, he clearly practiced, but most of his stuff with God was God-given talent. Kobe Bryant, talent, God-given. The same thing. The NCAA also owns the rights to sell a player's name for merchandise, autographs, etc. The NCAA already thought of this. Well, you know what? And I do understand the rules are in place, right? Totally get it, totally understand it. Don't have to pay college players nothing. That's bread. What people don't really understand that they can change all that. They can make the colleges pay the players the money that they deserve. They can make them do that. They say, okay, well, we ain't gonna play. We ain't playing no football if you ain't gonna pay us. And everything would stop. They'd be like, oh, okay, here's some money. Of course, but nobody's ever gonna do that. I'm just saying something out loud. But it's just business. But as a young, debt-free college player, okay, put it this way. Put it this way. I really want people to understand this. If a 22-year-old player came to the table, to the NFL table, getting ready to sign the contract with this SMD knowledge, the NFL would know that this person has been talking to somebody. That's a guaranteed. That's a guarantee. People here, so you guys can understand something, okay? When you make the kind of money that the NFL makes, of course they know capitalism is psychological. That's a given. They clearly understand that capitalism is psychological. They make trillions of dollars. Of course they know. So if somebody comes to the table speaking, because this is a language, I want you guys to really understand something. This is a language that debt slaves do not know exists. So when as a young person coming to the table speaking this language, because it cannot be faked. You cannot fake this language, okay? You cannot fake a language that you don't even know exists, okay? You can't just fake it. That's like pretending to speak the language of the Egyptians, even though you never heard how they sounded or the dialect or whatever, right? Who knows how they sounded back then? It's the same thing. You come to the table talking like you come to the table speaking a certain way that nobody else is going to speak. They're going to be like, okay, this kid has been talking to somebody. Because you'd be like, yeah, hey, yeah, thank you for the money, but just make sure you understand something. It doesn't control me. The money doesn't control me. You'll make sure that was clear. The money doesn't control me. I know what it's for. You're buying. Listen, I'd be just like this at the table. I know you're buying me for this money. Okay. I know that. I'm accepting that for the terms of years of this contract. Because when you understand how it works, the amount of money, it doesn't matter anymore. Okay. It doesn't matter. Just understand that once you accept it, you are owned. Period. You're owned. Okay, nothing wrong with it. That's how you make money. I'm not saying don't go to the NFL. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying make sure you understand that as long as you're under contract, that means they own you for that time. That's all. That's all I'm saying for the amount of money that they're paying you. I don't care if it's a million. I don't care if it's 500 million. I'm just telling you what they bought you for, what you sold your time for. That's all. Nothing more than that. Your perspective. It won't change, You get out there, you worked very hard to get it to NFL. You give them what they're paying for with your talent. Hey, whatever, you get exactly what you paid for. Exactly. Nothing outside of it, nothing more, nothing less. But the whole time you're in your contract, you're going to make sure they understand that you're in a contract. That part I can't really explain to you. I don't really understand. I mean, I can't, it's very difficult to explain, but you're going to understand. They're going to know that while you're here, this is business. You don't really love me. You don't really care about who I am. You just long as I produce for the business. Okay, I get it. Totally get it. Understood. It'll be different. I tried to teach my nephew this knowledge last year before he went off to college with no scholarship, but it didn't work. His parents are debt slaves, so he didn't grow up with proper information. And that's why I do these videos still. I try to make videos different than anybody else. Just because I want you guys to understand this knowledge has nothing to do with a person's age. I don't want you to come across this channel and be like, oh, listen to the way he's talking. That's old school and this and that. When you talk if you even catch yourself talking like that, this is what you say to yourself. Is 1 plus 1 old? 1 plus 1 equaling 2? Is that old? Is that old information? 1 plus 1 equals 2. God, they said that back in the 1800s. That's what it sounds like when you do that. Math is timeless. It doesn't have an age. It never gets old. It's there. It's just there. The college athletes years ago considered starting a union where they would where they would play under a collective bargaining agreement. However, it never evolved. See, when you're outside the debt matrix, let me give you guys the outside view, outside the bubble. Okay. The college is nothing without the people there, the players, nothing. They're nothing. Hey, let's start a union. They're making it so complex. Let's start a union. No, just stop playing and they'll give you whatever you want. Just say, hey, we're not playing until you give us something. And then they'll give it to you the next day. They don't even know that's all they have to do. Just say, hey, man, it's hard for me to go to school and pay for this. And you want me to practice how much? Listen, college players really don't even understand. You put in all this time and you ain't paying me shit. College players don't even realize that listen, they're risking their lives for free. The same thing that can happen to you in a pro football game can happen to you in college. Paralyzed, death, hurt. Because once you break a bone, you could be as good as I don't. Hey, man, you could be the most talented person, but you snap a femur, they're not even looking at you anymore, especially in college. They're not even looking at you anymore. And you ain't paying me nothing? College, all players got, hey, man, we ain't playing no more. They will give you money the next day. What they gonna do? Expel the whole football team? No, they're not. You have to start no union and nothing. You just say, hey, we ain't playing. The college athlete years ago. Oh, okay. I already read that. Yeah, the young people though, man, I really let's see. Let me see. Because I'm trying to think back. I'm think back in the times of my own life with this SMD knowledge. It's like say like I take this knowledge back to the age of let's say 22, because I had my first son at 22. Okay. First of all, that would have never happened. I would have never had with this knowledge here, I would have never had a kid at 22. First of all, I'm way too young. Second of all, I didn't even own myself at 22. I already had bills following people with credit card. Hey man, get a credit card, boost your credit up. You got to get a credit score if you ever want a house. You got to get a good credit score if you ever want a nice car. Those are all debt. I didn't know those were debt slaves talking to me at the time. But with this knowledge, if I had it at 25, I would just ignore them all. Do you guys have no idea at the because right now at 25, I realize I was the target of everything, buying, financing, whatever, vacation. I'm that age. I'm the prime. But when I was 25, I didn't know I was the prime target because I'm brand new to earth. I don't know anything. Hey, all the commercials, everybody in commercials are my age. Everybody's my age buying houses or financing cars. That's my because I'm the target. But with this knowledge at 25, do you guys know how quiet the financial world would have been for me at 25? The financial world would have been so quiet. If you guys, it's like this. If put it this way, put it this way. Okay, again, this is a psychological thing, so I'm gonna use something physical to describe what what the world is like when you own yourself. When you understand capitalism is psychological, I'm gonna give you a physical representation of what the world would sound like if it was my world today. Okay, imagine a Monday morning when traffic is at its highest. Everybody's trying to get to work. Now imagine on the Mondays, anybody with car payments they couldn't drive on Mondays. Okay. Anybody with a car payment, if you have a car payment, you cannot be on the roads on Mondays. Okay. Only people with no car payments can drive on Mondays. That's how it is. Now imagine the freeways, imagine the roads, imagine the stoplights. There would be no road rage at all. You probably rarely hear a horn honk. Nobody would be in anybody's way. You see what I'm saying? The freeways would be open no matter what time it was that day on Monday. That's how the financial world is for me. It's that quiet, but that's every day because I don't hear debt slaves anymore unless I want to hear you. And if I had this knowledge at 25, when like today, when I hear because you guys are target, so you guys when you're that age, 25, people that look like they have money, you think they have the answers to money because they look like it. But when you have this knowledge at 25, I wouldn't even saw those people. I don't hear, I don't listen to financial gurus the same way you guys do. So at 25, that would have been quiet too. I wouldn't have fell for people's stuff. I wouldn't have I wouldn't have dated any women seriously if they were in debt. I wouldn't have dated any women. I definitely wouldn't have had kids by any woman who was in debt. I wouldn't first of all, I wouldn't have had no kids in my 20s at all. I wouldn't even have thought about having children until I owned myself. Until I was established, okay, I own me, I own my time, I can do anything I want when I want. And that doesn't mean filthy rich, okay? That's slaves. I don't want you guys thinking that owning yourself and being free and doing what you want does you don't have to have millions and millions of dollars in the bank to achieve that. That's not true. I would because that's the dating age and everything. Let's say it's still around age 25, you start to go out a lot. uh women would know I was different because with this knowledge, you own yourself. You also what comes with owning yourself, you also are in control of your sex drive as a man at that age. Okay. You I know this because that's who I am today, right? So this knowledge will be the same. So if I'm 25 in control of my sexual drive, it doesn't control me, I control it. So going out dating, the women, I'm telling you guys this so you guys can really understand. The women would know the difference. They would pick up on the difference between a man that not in control of his sexual drive compared to a man that is in control of his sexual drive. Here, let me give you an example. And I didn't really notice this until I got into control of my sexual drive. Let me give you an example. When you're not in control of your sexual drive and you see a woman that you're attracted to, she might have a nice body, whatever, you get a certain look in your face. You get this like this hungry type of, just like, and as a man, you don't really know that you do it, okay? But women they're used to that. It's almost an unconscious, just like it's an unconscious thing for us as a man, it's also an unconscious thing for a woman. Oh shit, he's about to look at me. He's about to probably turn around, try to look at my ass, or try to let me not make eye contact. Whatever. This whole thing is going on like two people walking up towards each other. This whole conversation is going on in their heads. When you're in control of the sex drive, like now, I don't give that look because that's not what I'm thinking. So I don't think like that. So I don't give that look. I don't give off that energy that's what I want to do, or just because you're coming up on me, that's what no, I'm not going to do any of that. So women pick up on that, but they don't know what it is. A lot of them don't. Dang, what's different about this dude? They don't know to say, hey, wait a minute, he's in control of his sex drive. He's not doing what 95% of the other men do. And now, if you do this at age 25, I would have been also at this age, I would have been honest with every woman I dated. That's what have seriously happened. I would have not been dishonest with none of them. Hey, we're dating. Yeah. Are we dating serious? No. Especially if I'm seeing, because I'm not saying people who are in debt are bad people. I'm not saying don't hang around people in debt, but I'm just saying I would never seriously date a woman who's in debt, especially at that age. I'd be like, hey, you got student loan debt. What you gonna be doing about it? Oh no, everybody says, you keep it. Oh, okay, then we can never date seriously. Why not? Because you're in debt. That's why I'd be honest with them. Don't lead them on. Don't pretend you're only dating them. Hey, we see each other, but I just want to make sure I'm seeing other people too. I just want to make sure we're not serious ever. Why not? Because you're in debt. That's why. Well, I'm going to go find somebody. That's what I want you to do. I still care about you. Go find somebody that matches you. Like at that age, you don't know to ask. You just think it's normal. Hey, I got car payments. That she got car payments. You guys don't know that's what's drawing you guys together, because you guys got car payments. That's why. Because if you come like at that age, I'm dating and she got a car payment and I don't, we're not going to match because she has a car payment. She thinks it's normal. Many star athletes that are projected to be drafted into pro sports will take out an insurance policy in case they are injured in their college career, usually around 5 million. I mean, I would do that too, regardless. I need these young players to understand. Make sure you get a lawyer who specializes in whatever you're doing with the NFL, but make sure that lawyer is personally debt free. I promise that you'll thank me for the rest of your life if you do that. I promise you. And then when you get your money, you hire a tax. I don't care if you're if you can find a personal tax person who is personally debt free, that's the answer to all your problems. If you find a tax professional, listen, if you find a tax professional who is personally debt free, you have struck gold. That tax professional, listen to my words closely. That tax professional will be different than hundreds of thousands of tax professionals in the exact same field who are in debt. There is absolutely, listen, there is absolutely no excuse for a tax professional to be in personal debt. Absolutely no excuse. None. Zero. No exceptions. None. None. If I get a hold, listen, I get a hold of a rookie college kid that's coming up and he comes across this channel, I'll change his life, his or her life forever. It don't matter, man or woman, it don't matter. Forever. Forever. And I promise you, I don't care, basketball, football, hockey, baseball, the owners will know you are different than every other player on the team. I promise you that. Promise you. It's a language. And if you go speaking that language to the owners of these teams, they're going to know that you've been talking to somebody. They're going to know. My nephew is now paying $8,000 a semester with no scholarship. It really hurts me, but I can't say much about it because his parents are debt slaves. It's very difficult. That is very difficult to watch. And as far as the SMD family members go, this is going to be part of you guys' journey to see your loved ones digging themselves deeper in debt, and you know what's going to happen. They're going to die debt slaves. You just know it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to have to learn to accept it because you're going to worry yourself to death, man. It's hard to watch. Don't get me wrong. It's very difficult. Luckily, your nephew, he's still young. He got time on his side to wake up. He still got time on his side. LJ, you should consider becoming an agent for these young athletes. 99% of them have no idea what they're doing with their money. And you know what, Algo? I've been, let me tell you guys something too. That has been running through. It's weird because when you find your gift, you start practicing your gift in your mind. That's the best way I can describe it to you guys. Describe who I'm going to help, what I'm going to do on stage. You practice in your brain. So when it actually happens, I'll be ready, right? Getting young pro athletes has been a thing in my mind. All I need to do is get a hold of one. But at that young age, your mind has to already be somewhere. Okay, it has to be in a place. Because when I think of those young athletes, I think to myself, I could change their lives forever, change their family lives, generational. They don't even have to know the pieces. They just need to know how to pick the pieces, how to pick a lawyer, make sure the lawyer's personally debt free, how to pick a tax attorney, make sure the tax attorney is personally debt free. Anybody touching my money, any company, yeah, they got to be personally debt free, touching my bread. We don't understand that. I don't care if you don't understand that. That's your problem. And I guarantee you, not many of these types of firms exist. Believe that. Debt-free firms. So like and if I had enough bread, I would start one. That's what I would do. I would start a debt-free tax attorney firm. Every attorney that works in my tax firm is debt-free. I would kill it. I would kill the game, kill it. And I'm not even a tax attorney. I wouldn't even have to be a tax attorney. I would create a firm with all debt-free tax attorneys, and every tax attorney in there, they would know what they could stay, leave. They don't have to stay there. Because eventually I know once I create it and show it to them, of course they're going to break off and become their own multimillionaire. I don't care. That's the true purpose of it. That's the true purpose of it. Man, I would love to help some catch him just before drafted in college, man, coming to the table with it. They're not listen, the NFL, the NBA, the National Baseball League, they wouldn't if a young person came to the table speaking psychological capitalism, they'd be like, who have you been talking to? Because this is not taught in schools. This is not taught in schools. No, no. It would change the game. Not a bad thing to and listen, I'm not saying even when you guys hear me say, "Hey, you come to the table with the to the NFL, they're going to be no, they're not going to be intimidated or nothing. They're going to be like, "Okay, we're going to pay you because we make plenty of money." The NFL makes trillions of dollars with a T. All you got to do is LJ. How do you know that? Look how much the players are. If the players on the team are making multis millions of dollars, they're making billions. Well, let's say billions. Yeah, I said trillions. Billions. They're making billions of dollars. That's all you got to say. Okay, look, they're paying one player $500 million. That's a $500 million. So that means how much are they making if they could pay one player? Okay, that should tell you. So if you come to the table knowing that you understand capitalism is psychological, they're going to understand you. And they're going to pay you accordingly simply because you know, not because you're threatening them or you're like, hey, you're not going to take it. You are going to let them know that, hey, you're not going to take advantage of me because I know what I'm using. I'm using my body. I'm risking my life. I'm risking being paralyzed, knowing that a $500 million won't help me if I'm paralyzed from the neck down. Coastal Carolina football have quite a few football players that make to the NFL every year. That's nice. They got a nice little stadium over there that they just put together for that school over there. Saw it the other day. I was like, damn, they did a good job on that. But I just want, I want even college, when they're in college, I want college football players to understand what they're risking even trying to make it to the NFL, because if you get something happen to you in college, that's it. That's it. You're just tossed to the side. Next player comes in to replace you, and you're forgotten about. Period. It's just a matter of time. First, they still talk about you probably for a year, 2 years, 3 years, then 5 years, 6 years, 10, then it's gone. It is what it is. But just when you go into a business like that, out of all sports, especially the NFL, out of every sport played, the highest risk of death is NFL. That's the highest. Look, there's no question to that. Okay. Not saying don't play, not saying listen, I'm not even saying the NFL's doing anything bad. I want you guys, NFL's a business. I don't have to work for them. Neither do you. You don't have to. That's a choice. And all I'm saying is that if you're talented and you're going to make that choice, make sure that the NFL is clearly aware of the choice that you're making. That hey, I know I could possibly die. I know I could possibly just. It's not a big deal. Just it's in the contract. I'm sure it's buried in there telling you that this is a possibility. You're just letting them know that, hey, I read that part and I see that's a possibility, and that's really a big deal for me. So you're going to pay me accordingly. And if you're good, guess what? They are. It's not a big deal. And I was thinking about something the other day too. I was thinking about this. I was like, Now I don't follow football. Okay. I don't follow football. So I don't know. This is just a question. Have you ever seen the owners, children of the owners of the teams actually play on the field? Now, football players or football fans. Have you ever seen that? The children of the owners of NFL teams, do you ever see them on the football field? That's a question. I don't know, nor am I going to look it up. I'm just curious. You are on to something because Dave Ramsey coaches certain pro athletes, but it is not a priority with him. There is an opening for this financial coaching. The market is waiting for you. And I appreciate that. I see it. And I agree with you, Algo. It is most definitely an opening for sure. And even Dave Ramsey, and I want you guys to know something too. Dave Ramsey doesn't do what I do. Okay, and so let me explain that to you because a lot of people really don't understand. They hear me say Dave Ramsey, this I might be talking bad about him or something, right? Let me make sure it's clear. Without Mr. Ramsey, I wouldn't be here today at this particular point in time in my life, right? I wouldn't be here. I was an engineer. I came across Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey says, "Hey, take this calculator and my baby steps and get out of debt." That's what I said. That's what I said. Oh, it's that easy? Yeah, okay. And then I did it. But when I got to the part where Dave Ramsey says, "Hey, when you get down to your mortgage, start putting 15% away into retirement." That's where I left the Dave Ramsey train because you can't do that. You can't put 15% into retirement while having a mortgage. So that's where I left. You go find somebody with a gift. Dave Ramsey clearly has a gift according to the longevity of his company that states that fact. I learned what I needed to learn from Mr. Ramsey. And then as soon as he starts saying things that don't make any mathematical sense, I leave because that's called business. He's going to send you to one of his Vesta pros. So, because since you don't know that you can't put away 15% into retirement while having a mortgage, you're going to go to one of his Vesta pros or whoever this pro person he's going to, and they're going to show you how you can anyway while having a mortgage. They're going to say, yes, you can. Here, you just do this and then you pay us for it. And there's nothing wrong with it's business, but I'm just here to tell you that you can't. So that's when I left and broke off to create my own savings minus debt. I know I'm going the right way because every math says I'm going the right way. Math says I'm doing everything correctly. Math says everything I'm saying is true. There is no doubt. Keep going that way. All I need is one or two pro athletes getting ready to get drafted. But you got to remember, on the same flip side of everything, I understand that the majority must not know what I teach. That's how it works. The majority must not know. It is. It'll never, it would, they can't. That's just the way it is. That's the way it works. That's, you go back to the Dave Ramsey thing. eh, They're not, obviously, those people don't, the people that do that, they obviously don't know that you cannot do that. See what I'm saying? Whose whose fault is that if the person that does that, if the people that do that don't look at a calculator and calculate it themselves? Hey, wait a minute. I don't have 15% of anything to put anywhere. No, you don't. Not with a mortgage. No, you don't have nothing at all. At my level, what I just teach mathematical facts. I don't want to even call it a level, it's just math, right? I understand that if you have a mortgage, you don't have money to buy anything: food, water, electricity, shoes, uh, movies, fast food, uh, chewing gum, cigarettes. You don't have money for nothing, nothing. And that's a mathematical fact. You don't have money for nothing, but you're probably thinking, well, how am I doing it? I don't know. How are you doing it? How do you think you're doing it? You don't know how you're doing it. That's the psychological part. If you have a mortgage, you don't know how you're able to go to the grocery store and buy groceries. You don't even know how you wait a minute. You probably think, wait a minute, I don't have any money. No, you don't. But yet you're going to buy groceries. It doesn't matter what it costs. You don't have no money to buy anything. Now that's a reality that's tough to swallow. I get it. Not many people are going to be able to swallow that. And I imagine if I was 30 with this knowledge, going on 30, this is the age where the people start pressuring you that you're getting old, you should be having kids, you should own a house, you should own property, you should bring in second rental income to generate wealth. This is where it really starts on you guys. All of it is bullshit. All of it. The majority, not all of it, the majority of it, 99% of it. With this knowledge at 30, oh, it's getting really bad at this age, really bad. Because you think in your mind that age has something to do with it. You think because you're 30 or your early 30s, you're supposed to be having something. You're supposed to be having children. You're supposed to be married. You're supposed to be doing this. That's all the program. Where you learn that TV? That's TV. All you gotta do is turn to a person and say, "How are you planning on buying that house? A mortgage? Okay, that's all the information you need. You pay off the student loan. Have you paid off your student loan debt yet? Nope. And you're looking for a house? Yes. That's all the information you need. That's the people who's talking to you, people that don't know. People with people that don't know do not know you can't buy a house with a mortgage. You think I would have known that at early 30s? That's the When I was in my early 30s, I thought that was the only way to buy a house was having a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage. I thought that was a fact. That's just the way it was. No, it's not for people that believe that. If I was in my early 30s renting and my friends, this is where the friends start doing shit like this. Hey, you're throwing away money on rent. You better stop. That's where that really starts to kick in. Stop throwing away money on rent. Those are people that don't know mortgage payments is rent. That's rent. Mortgage payments are rent. That's rent to the bank. I would have just been laughing, renting my apartment back then. Oh man. No kids. While my old schoolmates and my friends in their 30s now they have kids and mortgages and car payments and 40, 50, 60-hour work weeks, while I have none of that in my rented apartment, no kids, no debt, working when I feel like it, maybe working 30 hours a week if I choose. They'll be like jealous. While they're forced to drive in minivans and car seats, I'm in my little two-seater, living free. Stress is not part of life. It's not. That's a lie. Like you go to the average young adult, hey man, what's going on? Oh man, I'm stressed. You don't know. I can't turn to you and say, hey, you do know? No, you obviously don't know. You don't have to have stress in your life. You don't know that. Stress is optional. That's not required. You don't have to. Man, I guarantee you, if I knew this in my 30s, I'd probably have way less wrinkles, way less. You guys just don't even get it. The stress, you have no idea. Stress is not a requirement. You do not have to have stress in your life. You don't. In my 30s, that wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have had kids. No, I wouldn't have had no kids. I would definitely wouldn't have had a serious girlfriend because the requirements are so high that would probably rarely had sex. Rarely. I would have rarely had sex. Now, in that age, oh yeah, I forgot. I almost skipped the main part. At that age, sex is a high priority. You think because you got all these young dudes, all these so-called players getting all this booty and ass, and you don't have to. Did you know you don't have to do any of that? You don't have to let another man tell you what to do with your private parts. Did you know that? You don't have to do that. You could do what you want. When you're in control of your sex drive, it's different. It's not like that. Okay. And the reason why I say here, let me SPIV. Let me tell you why. When I say serious girlfriend, with this knowledge, this is what a serious girl requirement would have to be. Okay, because it's a combination of things. I don't have any stress. She got to be debt free. She got to own herself. That's number one, meaning she has to be personally debt free. She has to be. That's a requirement. She has to own herself. And she has to be stress free. Just because she might be debt free, she might not be psychologically stress free. There might be some stuff going on in her life that she didn't take care of, that something in her childhood or something happened in her last relationship. She got to take care of that shit herself. No, I don't have any of that. That's those two requirements alone. The possibility of you having a serious girlfriend, especially in your younger years, is very low. Now, I'm not saying, but this is the difference too. I'm not saying not enjoy yourself as a man. But when you have this knowledge, you will be honest with every woman that you encounter. They will not be used to that. They will not be used to a man being 100% honest. Hey, what are you looking for? I'm just looking for friends with benefits. You just say it. No hesitation, and then let her respond to it. If she's not into it, she'll tell you, "Oh no, I'm looking for something better." Okay, cool. I'm glad we got that out the way. You want to still be cool? If it's still a cool person, I'm cool with that. That don't bother me. Doesn't bother me at all. Or then, like, say, like you come across. Listen, you guys. I know you guys think it's guys really don't really understand this, okay? But when you're in control of your sex drive, it's different. Women are attracted to you and they don't really know why, but I'm telling you that's what it is because you're in control of it now. It's different. And say like you decide, you say, okay, I'm not, I don't want a serious girlfriend, but I still want to have sex. You're always going to be protected. You're always going to do that. And you're going to make sure whoever you're with is going to understand that that's going to happen every time. That before you actually have sex, you're going to say, you do know this is not going to go anywhere if we decide to have sex. You got to listen, you got to make sure it's clear, and you'll do that. You'll say just like that. You'll say, hey, by the way, it's not going to go any. If we have sex, I want you to clearly understand that it's not going anywhere past this. If she says yes, then you go on. Okay, cool. Everybody's understanding. But then, sometimes people, a woman it's a natural thing, woman or man, it really doesn't matter. But I'm using this as an example because I'm a man. They get in, she might have really good sex, and sometimes that changes the dynamics of the relationship. Oh, because the sex is really good. Okay, he's going to change his mind. When you understand this, when you understand you know what type of woman you're going to have, you're in control of your sex drive. Not even that's going to change your mind. At the end of every session, you're going to say, "Wow, that was good, but this still doesn't change the dynamic of our relationship." Okay, I just want to make sure that's clear. Because she might see you go crazy. Oh my God, I blew his mind. Yeah, that's probably all true and everything, but it doesn't change the way I told you in the beginning before we had sex. That's what I would say. LJ, Linnell, why do you keep saying that? Because I want to make sure we're clear. I don't want anything misunderstanding. I don't want you to look at my phone and see a girl call my phone and say, "Hey, who is that?" What do you mean, who is that? That's another girlfriend of mine. What are you talking about? Are you getting feelings at seeing a girl's name across my phone? It's time to stop being friends. That's what I would say. Because you're going the wrong way. You're getting feelings. And I told you, no. Now, people think that that's really cold. Like, wow, that's cold. No, you know what that is? That's being honest with myself. That's all I had to do, especially in that dating age, 25, 30s. All I had to do, listen, is be honest with myself. That's all I had to do. I didn't have to lie on a girl. I didn't have to cheat on her. I didn't have to text chicks behind her back. I didn't have to do all this. No, all I had to do was just be honest with myself. When you're honest with yourself, you don't have to hide your phone. You don't have to carry it everywhere with you. You don't care if it rings because everybody knows. That alone, listen, when what you don't know, when you don't own yourself, when you cheat, deceive, try to do it on different apps, hide. All that takes energy. You guys really don't even understand that. All that deception, that's energy to cover your tracks. Make sure you don't use this credit card, use this other phone that's hidden in the trunk, and do that. You know who you're lying to? Yourself. That's who you're hiding. That hidden phone. You're hiding the phone from yourself, but you already know where it's at because you did it. That takes energy, wasted energy, just wasted when that could be a positive something. Here, let me explain to you guys so you guys can understand what I mean, okay? You don't know this if you're a man and has never been in control of your sex drive, you don't know what I'm telling you. You don't even believe it exists. Hey, how can a man in control of his sex drive? Holy shit, I've never seen that before. I know that. That's why I'm telling you. And it has nothing to do with my age, okay? Nothing. Now, energy cannot be destroyed. It only can be converted into positive energy or negative energy. But it's energy. Now, you don't really the only reason why I could tell you, I'm gonna show you a physical example of something that is only psychological, okay? Now, when a person climaxes, right? I'm gonna try to keep this as clean as possible because I want more ears to hear it. When a person climaxes, their body just goes crazy. You're not even controlling your body anymore, okay? Your body is completely out of your control. Completely. It's just doing whatever, toes curling, stretched out, beyond belief, right? That you know what makes your body do that? Energy. Where's that energy coming from? Your brain. Where you think it's coming from? Now, now, let me explain the energy. Now, if you take a taser and shoot somebody with a taser, their body's going to do the exact same thing it does when a person climaxes, the same thing. But the only difference between the taser and the climax, the taser is forced energy from an object outside of you. But when you climax, it's from your brain. Now imagine if you take that same energy and just let your brain use it instead of just wasting it. Instead of just taking that energy, just going out, just just willy nilly. No, that all that stops. I'm just the only thing I can just tell you guys, okay? If you can believe it, you don't have to believe it. Whatever, it's totally up to you. I'm just giving you guys some information. If I was in my 30s, you better believe it. No, many women will have never come across a man like me. I promise you that. And that's nothing to do with my sex. I'm good in the bed and none of that bullshit. None of that. Exactly. That should give you guys the understanding of how much energy is used to climax. No different than a person getting shot with a taser. It's like that's serious energy. And you just wasted it. You could have used that for something else. Your brain could have used that. Could have used that positive energy. And you know what's so crazy? Especially at same age, 25, 35, between 25 and 35. What you guys don't know is like when you control your sex drive, you're out of this circle of people fooling around on each other, deception. That's a world that you are choosing to be in. So say it like this. Say like you are with somebody, okay? You don't know this because you're in it. Say like you're with somebody and you're fooling around on them The person that you tell every day that you love, okay? You tell every day that you love, and you're fooling around them, right? With another person, and the other person knows that you're married too. They know that you're married, right? The other person know that you're married, okay? The reason why the person that's you're fooling around with accepts it because you guys are in the same circle. You're with a person. The reason why you guys are attracted to each other because you're with your person that fools around. She's a person that accepts that, and that's why you guys are attracted to the same energy. Now, when you're not like for me today, if I was in that age group and I'm out dating and I find out the woman is actually living with a man or she's married, the communication ceases immediately. There is no continuation of nothing. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm still living with my man, but I sleep downstairs and he sleeps. No, communication's done. Sorry, I'm not hearing any of that. That's how people get killed. That's inviting. Listen, that would be inviting that world of people where people fuck around on each other all the time. That would be inviting that world into my world, but with that connection. See, so she's said like I go out on a date. Of course, the date says I'm single, I have nobody, I'm with. Then you get to the table and you have a dinner, and then she comes out with the truth. She already lied to me at day one. She's just trying to figure out if I'm a man that's okay with being in part of that world of people where people fuck around on each other. No, you'll be quickly. She will quickly know that I'm not part of that world. You're not going to tie me with an anchor to that world by having sex with a woman like that. Are you okay with this? No, I'm not. Then I'm shit. I don't know what's going on. He might come up from behind me and thinking I'm the man she's probably been with for the last 6 months. I don't know. I'm not playing in that world. They're gonna say it's your age, LJ. That's how you can control. I know exactly, man. That's exactly what they're gonna say. I know it, and I'm telling you guys all when this grows, when SMD gets bigger, that's exactly what they're gonna say. Oh, he's just saying that because he's old or his thing, his penis probably don't work anymore. You know, just that slave just come up with a million of them. Women need to control themselves as well. Stop having children before they're married to the compatible person. And even and you know what's so crazy, Omanike? Even with this knowledge as a woman, you won't have kids by a man who's a debt slave. I can promise you that. There won't be no accidental pregnancies. If you are a woman at the same age, 25, 35, which is that prime age. Here, let me put it this way, okay? So you guys so you can just really get it. Okay. Because I want people to understand it's not a man or a woman thing. It's just a person thing. It's a human thing. You will live your life as a woman the way you want to live it. You won't care what people think. You won't be getting pregnant by men that are in debt, that have multiple kids and not paying child support. You won't add yourself to that list, tying yourself to because if you did that, like right now, I'm out of the debt matrix. Okay. If I got with a woman who was in the debt matrix, that would not only biologically tie me to the matrix for the next 20 years of my life, it would legally tie me to the debt matrix for 20 years. Court dates, child support, lawyers, judges telling me what I can and cannot do with my money. All of that because I would have did it to myself. I wouldn't do that. So as a woman, you wouldn't do that to yourself either. I promise you that. You won't be having kids just because you love them, and you know he's gonna treat my kid different than the four kids that you guys are gonna look and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not special. No, you're not. Because let me tell you something. If you come across a guy that has like 10, 15 kids, I'm gonna tell you something. That man's a debt slave until he's dead. There's no way he's going to get out of that. You just need to understand that. You come across a man that has many children, he's pretty much going to be a debt slave until he's dead. And if you decide to have a kid by a person like that, now you're going to be tied to that whole mess. Let me see. And that's in my, let's see, as I go into the age of 40s. Now, 40s, for me, I don't really have my story. My story comes into play because 40, when I started getting late 30s, early 40s, that's when I started waking up. Okay. That's when I started realizing something was wrong. Something wasn't working right. Here I'm making six figures and I got the nice car, house where I'm living, but something just wasn't feeling right. Something wasn't happening. Long story short, I didn't own anything. I was in debt. Where I'm at today, this wasn't a planned route. I didn't say, hey, at age 40 something, I'm gonna wake up and get out of debt and pay off all my debt, quit my job, and move across the country and don't work a job for a year. All that is part of the process. I had to, and I always try to. This is a very difficult part of the process, but a lot of the SMD family members are going to have to do this, and I strongly suggest you guys do. When you finally take the step of what you guys are going to do, because it's an eventual step, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to quit your job, create your own business. You're going to have to figure it out. You'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. But I strongly suggest this. This is what I strongly suggest. If you have a job, pay off your debt, stack your dough so well to where you don't have to work for a year. Don't even look for a job. Every day you wake up, you decide that day what you're going to do, where you're going to go. It could be stay in the house all day. Hey, maybe I just feel like sleeping all day. Hey, maybe I just feel like laying and sleeping in the house for the next 2 days. Whatever comes to your mind, you do it, and you do it for a year. What it's going to do, it's going to break the 40-hour work week program. Okay? This is what it did for me. Okay? And I'm telling you, because this is after the fact. I didn't know this was happening until it was over. Not working for a year, broke, 40-hour work week, Saturday and Sunday are weekends. The work hours are between 8 and 5 and all this other stuff. That's all a program. Those are programs. Saturday and Sunday are not special. You lose track of the clock. You don't know what time it is anymore. You rarely know what time of the day it is. Rarely. You rarely know what day of the week it is. That's all part of the process because you're breaking the program. The program, when you're part of the program, you always have to know what time it is because you have to know what time to get to work, what time the traffic starts, what time the traffic ends, what time is lunchtime, what time you get off, what time you go to bed, what time you got to get by. The clock, you need the clock for everything. But when you're not doing that, you'll learn that the clock is a tool, because when you're in the debt matrix, you don't know the difference between the clock and time. You don't know the difference. Time and clock are two different things. Time is the universe. The clock is man-made. You're not going to, I would have never known that unless I didn't, and I didn't work for a year. That's the only way I could know that, what I'm telling you guys today. When I had a job, the longest I ever took off was maybe a week and a half, maybe 2, but rarely 2 weeks straight, rarely. And what's so crazy, when I think back, even back at that time, I had a job that gave me 3 weeks a year off. But I could never take the whole 3 weeks off at one time. They would never allow me to do that. Then what's the purpose of telling me I have 3 weeks if I only can be approved to take a week at a time? That's not a vacation. That's still a dictation. But I didn't know that anyway because I broke it up in days, took a day here, day there. I never had a full. I'm not even blaming the company. Okay, make sure you guys understand. Not even blaming. I'm just telling you something. You forget all that. Take a year off and don't do nothing. So it can break your, oh my God, there's gonna be a gap on my resume. They're gonna say that what have you been doing from January to June? They're gonna then all these years you gotta break all that bullshit. You gotta break it all. It's all part of the program. The same way, put it this way, SMD family. The same way you had to break your attachment to the credit scores by getting it once you got out of debt, you realize a credit score doesn't mean shit. You're like, wait a minute, that was no, that wasn't even needed. Nope, you don't need none of that, right? It's gonna be the same way. You got the psychological debt, and then you got to deal with this. You got the physical debt, and then you got to deal with the psychological debt to free yourself. Once I started getting out of debt in my 40s, I started realizing that I had less to keep track of, less due dates to keep track of. Uh, my friends, if your friends will start to change, as a man that was in the uh, the dating world where my sex drive controlled me, uh, coming out of that, it's just like it's a power within itself. I don't really know how to explain that part, but it's a power within itself. You don't really realize, put it this way, I didn't realize, and most young men could relate to this. I did not realize how much control it had over me until I got control of it. Like when you're a man and you're in that prime age, everywhere you go, you are looking at everything. If a woman is dressing sexy and you see her ass and you see her leg, whatever your thing is, you're just always that mode is just on. Now, I didn't realize this until I controlled it to where it's not always on. You know how much energy that is? You don't even realize how much energy that takes to always be thinking about that shit all the time. But when you're in control of it, it's not like that anymore. It's like, whoa, I am free. I don't have to be hungry all the time. Nope, don't have to be hungry all the time. That's not true. Every woman that walks by and she got a nice, you don't have to look at her like you just want it. You just look at her, she's just a woman walking by. I don't even look at it that way because even if I see a woman with a nice body or whatever, right? I say to myself, I still don't know what her mind is like. I don't know where she's at mentally. It doesn't matter what her body looks like. If she's not mentally wherever she needs to be, it doesn't matter because that's the connection for me. The the physical part is when you're in control of your sex drive, the physical part is the second part. The mental part is the first part. And when I say the mental part, it matters where my mind is at. If I'm out and I'm just enjoying life and I'm not trying to be in a serious relationship, any woman that I meet, I tell her that I'm here to have fun. I'm not here to in a serious relationships. Cool. Yeah, we can be cool, but we're not going to be nothing more than that. Blah, blah, blah. You just be honest with them. Don't lie. Don't deceive. Don't pretend. Just be you. Just not, no, I'm not doing any of that. No. Mm-mm. Hey, it's Valentine's Day. You're going to get me something? No, we're not like that. Because that's what happens. Hey, Valentine's Day is coming. Are you gonna take me out? No, we're not like that. Why you keep talking like that? That's what I would say. If you're like, I would tell her if a woman did that and knowing we're not together and she mentioned that, I'd be like, it sounds like you want a man that does that. You should go find him. And that's not even being rude. That's being honest with myself. Because some men or women, it doesn't matter, but men will succumb to that. Oh man, we are having sex. I could at least just be nice to her. No, that's not nothing to do be with nice or anything. That's something that you said in the beginning before having sex. Because A lot of women say, "Oh, you're acting funny right after sex." If you say it before sex, that cannot be used. Do you understand? Sex cannot be used to say, "Hey, oh, you just did all that so you can get in my panties." No, that's not true. I told you in the very beginning, before we had sex, that this is what it will be. That's how you do it, Omanike. You slowly just start to transition. Uh, it's very difficult to explain. It's very difficult to explain, but it naturally happens. I had over 96 PTO hours, and they still wouldn't give me 2 weeks. See what I'm saying? Those are nothing against the jobs, nothing against employers. To say it was so crazy, especially as a computer engineer. Here I am, salary 160,000 a year, salary 3 weeks a year vacation every year that comes with the contract, whatever, right? But I could never take it all off at once. Now, as an employee, I'm like sprung. I'm like, ooh, 3 whole weeks, wow. But never once. You got to ask when you can take those days. You can't even. You work hard to do all these days to get your vacation, and maybe you want to do it during Christmas so you can spend time with your family. You worked hard. You're like, you know what? I got 3 weeks. I'm going to take off the month of Christmas, and they say, oh, sorry, you can't do that. What? Oh yeah, plus you can't take it all at once. Then what's the purpose of it? There is no purpose. No, that's up to you if you want to accept that. At that moment, you could either accept it or you could leave. That's what I would do today because first of all, let's make sure this is clear. I never allowed my work vacation days to add up because I always took a day here, 2 days there, extended the weekend here, took a Monday off so I could have 3 days and all this other stupid nonsense. They say they're okay with it, hopes you'll change. Exactly. That's what they say. They'll guilt you before or after. Well, no. See, this is what I want, especially young men. I really want you guys to understand. You're not going to really understand this until you own yourself. If you're in debt, you're not going to understand what I'm telling you about this sexual part, about being in charge of being in control of your sex drive. Until you own yourself, you're not going to know. When you are in control of your sex drive, you give off a different type of energy. You don't have the hungry look in your face that you don't know you have when you walk up to women. It's not there. Like, here's an example, okay? When I go into the gym and you see some of the things that women wear inside the gym, okay? Not saying that they can't, not saying that they should be wearing a certain something. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying when they wear a certain outfit, that means they're looking for attention. That's what it says to me. When you come into a gym to work out and you have a bodysuit on that's see-through and you can see your thongs and your bra, it's like, okay, obviously you're looking for attention. Well, not from me. She's looking for attention. Okay, well, not from me, because that's pretty obvious. So no, thank you. So I just turned it off. It's not a big deal. Just turn it off. I'm not walking by, looking in the mirrors and saying, let me get a sneak peek of her ass. No, I'm not doing any of that. None of that. And this is something, I want you guys to understand something. This is not something that I'm trying to do. It's not it's for me, it's a natural thing. I'm not trying to do anything. I want you guys to understand something too. I'm not out saying that I don't see beautiful women. I live in a vacation city. People come here to vacation. So I see a little bit of everything. I'm not saying that I'm blind. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying I look, but without the hungry look, without the hungry look. I can admire a woman's body in her bathing suit without being hungry. I'm owning my own time. They wanted me to work after Thanksgiving. I told them no, we'll be gone a week to NYC. See, isn't it's just beautiful, man. It's You guys don't understand the power of being debt free with a job. When you, as a young person, starting your career, and you went to college, this is what I strongly suggest you do. Okay, strongly suggest you do. As soon as you and you got student loan debt, as soon as you graduate college, go back home. If the option of going back home is possible, and you go back and your parents are okay with it, go back home. Get a job. Don't don't tell your parents, don't have your parents tell you to get a job. Don't have your parents tell you to clean up around the house. Go do everything yourself and you pay them rent. Not the rent that you're paying out in the streets, just something, it counts on how much money you're making, two, 300, whatever. It doesn't matter. Without automatic, make it automatic. Don't give them excuses to why you can't pay this month, whatever. Not only does this give you practice, this helps out your parents. Okay. Stay there. Stay at home until you pay off all the debt you accumulated, which is not a lot if you're fresh out of college. You think it is, but it's not. You pay off every single penny of your debt. Now you start stacking your bread. Start thinking about as you're working, you start thinking about what could I do to earn money as a business. Start thinking of ways, just look around into the environment. What could I do in today's environment to make a lot of money in a short amount of time? The only way you're going to be able to truly own your time, you have to serve people. You're going to have to open a business, a successful business that serves people. Economies cannot work without people. And if you ever want to own the time in your life, you have to build a business that serves people properly. That's what you have to do. You think of this the whole time you're working. What can I do? What can I learn? Treat your customers with respect. Always make sure they can trust you. If you get a hold of customers that can trust you, they'll pay you anything you charge. They'll pay. Why? Because they're going to get what they're paying for. They're gonna they like no difference when you click on Amazon to buy something. You're not worried about getting ripped off when you go to Amazon. That's not even on your brain. Oh man, I don't really trust this website. I've never heard anybody say I don't really trust Amazon.com. I've never heard that. You do the same. You see motivational speakers, right? Like the big ones having retreats. People are paying $10,000, $15,000 just to come on a retreat with this person. You know why they do that? Because they trust him or her. They trust them. This right here, what I do, is just a matter of time. I want you guys to really understand something. It's just a matter of time now. TikTok is just a matter of time. That's it. I'm going to come across a young rookie fresh out of college, going to come across my channel and say, hey, man, I heard you can help me. Before I come into all this money and all these people that been in the business for decades, here I am, a young kid, don't know shit. I heard you can help me. Sure can. Sure can. Help a young rookie. Nobody gonna steal his money, his or her money, rip them off. No business people are gonna take advantage of them. I will be able to teach them that. I will be able to teach them that nobody in your career, financially at least, will be able to take advantage of you if you understand what I teach you. Nobody. Teach that kid the power of no. No. Hey, I heard your contract. You're making millions of dollars. Yeah, I know why the NFL. I don't know why the NFL does that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't make any sense to me. The NFL tells the whole world how much the players making, but they never tell how much they make. Can you imagine your life like, what's the name on the Kansas City, making a half of $1 billion? Tell the whole world he's making a $500 million. Now he can't even walk around and be normal anymore. And I don't even follow sports. I used to say, why do they do that? Why do they always announce that when they don't even have ain't that a private business? Yeah, then why you don't have to do that. You're private. I think it's just to take the focus off of them. That's what I think. So you guys don't be looking to see how much they really make. I'm retired. I've been lived by the 5 no's: no spouse, no kids, no pets, no debt, and finally no job. But it's not for everyone. No, and what's so crazy, Algo? I want to make sure this people know. Whatever makes you happy. Like the average person, oh my God, no spouse, no, that's gotta be no, that's when somebody like if like you read this out loud, there's somebody that says, oh my God, no pets, no this and that. When you hear them say that, that's them. They couldn't do that. But if that makes you happy, that's cool. Like every morning I get up, I meditate for 2 hours every morning. People can't spend 5 minutes alone with themselves. Even when I was at that young age, I never took time. When I was in that prime demographic, I never took time to meditate, just be by myself, turn off everything, no phone, no talking to anybody. Because now that I understand that capitalism is psychological, there's a few things that I've realized. But you guys don't realize it when you're in it. Debt slaves don't know that they're debt slaves. Okay, they don't know. What that also means is that every single debt slave, not only do they not know they're debt slaves, they each have a different perspective of the economy, of capitalism. First, you got to find the ones that even know what the kind of economy that we're in. First, you got to say, hey, what do you know the kind of if you ask the average person, just ask your friends, hey, what kind of economy are we in? Most of them they don't even know that you're capitalists. We don't even know that this is a capitalist economy. They don't even know, right? First, you got to find those people. Oh, it's capitalism. Okay, cool. Now you go to the next level. They each have their own perspective of capitalism. You have to get through all that to get to where I'm at today. Now I understand that everybody has a different view of capitalism. That's another whole layer. Had to tell someone I like being alone. They said I need someone when I'm old. Right. Oh, he is 26 trying to he's 26. Oh my God. That is so crazy. What's so crazy too? It's like when you're 26 and you hear a 52-year-old person talking, you really do believe that is old. And I get it. You don't really understand that. You're young. A young person doesn't know to turn around and say, hey, wait a minute. I only been on Earth for 26 years. How old is Earth? Millions, they say. That means I've been here like 25 years longer than you, 26. That means I know something that you don't. But also what you got, so you guys don't think it has anything to do with ages, okay? Age. People don't, there's not many 52-year-old people that understand that capitalism is psychological. I want you guys to understand the value of the information that I'm sharing with you guys today. There's not many people that know that at 52. Ooh, and he has 5 children. Whew. Poor kid. He's done. He's toast. He's pretty much toast. He's pretty much toast. I know what he thought he was gonna do, Omanika. I know he thought 26, she's older, she's looking at this young stud. Man, when you're a young dude, you really believe that. You really do. You really believe that. You think, oh, this woman's older. She's gonna want. She ain't had nothing like this. That's what you think. I know that you think that, but it's not true. Okay, that's not true. Now, if you're just jumping on and you want to ask me some questions, I think the best questions would be to ask, what if you come up, you're a certain age, right? Just ask me, what would I do different at your age? If you're doing something right now, what would I do different to help you be financially successful, right? Personally, what would I do at your age? I could answer those questions for you. What would I do differently? Even even with the situation that you're in, I could, hey, what do I do? My boyfriend or my girlfriend's not, the money can't, you're trying to look for these answers like, where is this money going? What's happening? I will tell you how to locate the problem. I will show you the leaks in your bank account. I will show you where the holes are at. Oh, wow. No, he's obese and married. Wow. We say if you want a loyal friend, sure, get a pet. They love yeah, and that's what people really understand. Pets love unconditionally. That's why you can look into a pet eyes and see no judgment or anything. That's why people really love pets, because there's no judgment in their eyes, right? And that's what people want. But when you own yourself, listen, when you own yourself, you don't even need you don't really worry about the judgment of other people anymore when you own yourself, especially when you know they're debt slaves. And 99% of people that you know are debt slaves, okay? If they're debt slaves, you don't really care about the judgment of debt slaves. They don't even own themselves, right? That's my world. So if somebody's judging me and they're in debt, their judgment doesn't matter to me because they're a debt slave. Debt slave. I don't care about the opinions or judgment of debt slaves. They don't even own themselves. You know how many people I had to unfriend on my Facebook because of things I post? Oh, that's not true. You're LJ. You're being racist. Goodbye. Coming to my Facebook page telling me about what I should do and say. Goodbye. Luminon says, I'm gradually learning that being with or around wrong person people is more miserable than being alone. Sure is. Oh, Monica and I was just talking about this. I love being alone. Love it. Love it. Now, when I say alone, I'm with somebody. I'm with a woman, right? But when I say alone, I have my alone time, my hour. I wake up. I found a spot in our relationship where I can have 2 hours alone. I get up at 7. I'm good from 7 to 9. Nobody bothers me. Everybody still sleep. It works out for everybody. What's up, Malika? I'm just trying to, honestly, if I could help not only just a young person that's going to in it, and I want the young people to understand too, it doesn't matter even if you're going into a profession, like a professional in it, a career, anything, it doesn't matter. Don't get caught up on the profession, okay? It doesn't matter. I wish, because at 18, I remember this. Luckily, I had a mom. She pressured me to make sure I graduated high school, but she didn't pressure me to go to college. She didn't do that. Thank God she didn't. She let me make that decision on my own. And I didn't go to college till my early 30s. when I was more mature to understand, to make the right decision, to go into what field to make money. That's the decision I made. I based my college attendance on computers, because the computers are going to be here. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. So I said that's the smart move, and that was the right move. I just went and got a job out of college, right? I mean, excuse me, out of high school. I just went and got a job, started working, stayed at home, paid the bills, whatever, right? I'm glad I did that. Because at 18, you don't really know what to do. You're just listening to everybody around you. Hey, you've been listening to the TV your whole life. Hey, if you don't go to college, you ain't gonna be shit. That's what the TV says. That's what society basically tells you. You're not gonna be nothing if you don't go to college. With none of that, that's not true. None of it is true. An 18-year-old doesn't know to say, "Hey, wait a minute, who's gonna pay for this?" Yeah, hey, mom, dad, I know you want me to go to college, but who's paying for this? Oh, yeah, you're gonna have to get student loans. Don't you guys still have yours? Aren't yours older than me? Yeah. When you guys paying yours off? Never. So you want me to do the same? Yeah. Keep them forever. Yeah, that's just how it is. No, the answer is no. If you have parents, listen, this is what you got to do, 18-year-olds. If you have parents shoving college down your throat, you turn to them and say, Mom, Dad, do you guys still have your student loan debt? If they say yes, you better not listen to them. You better not listen to them. You mean, Mom, Dad, yeah? You mean your student loan debt is older than me? Yes. You know what that means? Like, say, like you guys are in a nice house with a mortgage, and you find out your parents still have student loan debt. Your parents are telling you they don't know you can't own a house with a mortgage. Now, as an 18-year-old, you don't know that, but that's what they're telling you, especially if they have student loan debt older than the house, older than the mortgage. Because if the student loans are older than the mortgage, that automatically tells you that they have a mortgage, because you cannot buy a house while having student loan debt. So of course they have a mortgage. Now, as a child, I'm here to tell you this is an unconscious thing. This is not done out because they don't love you. This has nothing to do with this is an unconscious thing. They don't know you can't own a house with a mortgage while having student loan debt older than the mortgage. They don't know that. That's an unconscious psychological thing. That's why it's called psychological capitalism. You're probably thinking to yourself as an 18-year-old, wait a minute, millions of people have mortgages. Yes, that's true. What's that got to do with anything? Nothing. That you know what that's called? Those people are called the housing market. Without them, there would be no housing market. You don't have to be part of that. You don't have to be on that part of it. You don't have to be there. You see how fast they're putting up these track homes? They have to make debt slaves feel like they own something, else they'll wake up. So they start making track homes. Each debt slave with a mortgage in there thinks that they own something inside of a one big old property. Each person inside the community of track homes, they each think they're homeowners when those are really just separate apartments. HOA dues are the rent. That's the rent for your apartment on that property. That's rent. HOA, mortgage, and each one of them believe that they own the house. They have to build that kind of stuff, and you don't have to be part of stuff like that. Dorian says, "Damn, you really going to force your child into becoming a indentured servant with interest. Man, that's abuse. I would never do that. But that's because you know, Dorian. That's why. On the same side, on the flip side, excuse me, flip side of the coin, it must be this way. The majority of parents must not know that you don't do that. Without student loan debt, colleges couldn't exist because you got, listen, okay? Debt slaves, you guys have no money. Without student loan debt, you guys could not go to college. It wouldn't even be an option. Therefore, there would be no big colleges if you guys did, if they stopped student loan, if student loan debt student loans cease, so do colleges because you guys have no money to go. Student loan debt is not even a bad thing. I want you guys to really understand that. It's not even a bad thing. You just have to pay it back. So if you go to college for 4 years, you give yourself 4 years to pay it back maximum, 4 years maximum. And it shouldn't even take 4 years. I'm just telling you, set a goal for yourself so you don't think it go on forever. I went to college for 4 years. Then I give myself 4 years to pay it back. Not a day more, not a day more. Any questions? Crazy. 26-year-old beast with 5 kids. Boy, boy, boy. And if you're a young man, let me give you some advice too. Okay. Take care of yourself. All right. I'm gonna give you some strong advice, young men. When you hear stories on TV or, hey, you get to age 50 and you have ED problems, erectile dysfunction problems, because what they're not telling you is this: the majority of those men that have those kind of problems, those men haven't been taking care of themselves. That's why they have those problems. All you got to do is take care of yourself. And when you get older, you won't have the probability of you having those problems are slim to none. I'm living proof of it. Don't believe because you turn 50, you don't function anymore. That's not, none of that. That's not true. If you don't take care of yourself, I believe it. Yeah. If I had just been treating my body like garbage in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s, of course my body's going to respond accordingly. Of course, high blood pressure, stress, tension, nothing's working right. But when you take care of yourself, I'm living proof that that's not true. What's your thought on tiny homes? I like tiny homes. I ain't gonna lie, I do. I like them. I think they're cute. I'm not against it. It's like the way they design them. I think it's pretty cool. I think it is. What's up, Monique?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm at work right now. Hope you can hear me. I can't stay on
Oh
long.
wow, okay. First time at work with Monique. All right.
Yeah, yeah. I just want
Looks
to.
quiet.
Nobody's here right now, so I just want to say. Oh, okay, because there's a lot of machines going on. I'm trying to be someplace so there's no patient
Oh, I don't hear
shit.
nothing. I just
They
hear
can't,
you.
Okay, I just want to say to folks that y'all need to get one of the benefits of getting out of debt is that you're able to focus on your health. Okay, I'm 53. When I was in my 30s, let me tell you something. There's a lot of men, because usually I date black men. They're sickly. You know how many exes I have that are dead now from diabetes, heart, and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So
Okay.
when you get out of debt, because obviously they were debt slaves. Okay. When you get out of debt, you're able to focus on your health and improve your
Yes,
life.
for sure.
That
For
would be
sure.
your focus. That should be your priority, right?
For
Because
sure.
stress will affect you with your
Mm,
eating and your health will go down. I mean, there's
right.
so many men, especially black men, overweight, eating, drinking, and
Mm-hmm.
everything in excess.
Yes.
So now I'm debt free. I don't even want to date. And I stopped dating a while back because I'm tired of sickly ass men. I'm just keeping it real. I'm tired of these sickly. If they were sickly when I was in my 30s and I'm now in
Right,
my 50s, how are they
right,
now? Like I said,
right,
some of them are dead.
right. It's
They didn't
true.
even make 60.
Right. It's true. You got to take
Keeping
care of
it real,
yourself.
y'all.
You
So
got
I
to
don't even
do it.
want to be bothered. I just want to enjoy myself, travel, work, invest. That's it.
Well, okay. Tell them this. Tell them this. Okay. Tell them this part, Omanike. Tell them how is work without stress? Like stress is no longer part of your life, right? Let
Well,
them. I want them to feel what
I'm
it.
not gonna lie, it's still a little bit part of my life because it's here. You
Right.
understand?
No, I mean,
Because
well,
I
no, no. Okay, I said that wrong. It's not at the level of
oh
way.
no, it's not. I mean,
What,
it's
tell
one
them
it's
about
fucking
that.
wonderful. Let me tell you, because by nature being Caribbean descent, I'm always working, 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 right? And they'll call me up. Oh, could you come in? This and that. Now I have the beauty of saying no. They
Yeah.
want to call me on my day off. I'm trying to exercise. Oh, what are you doing Thanksgiving? I said, I'm not working. Oh, could you work Friday 5 hours, Saturday 12 hours? I said, no.
Wow.
I haven't seen my family in 3 years in New York. I ain't going to be here. No,
Right.
I'm going
Nice.
for a week. If I want to be gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I set my own schedule.
Nice.
Let's look at the
Nice.
schedule. Let's look at the schedule. This is the schedule. I'm taking off November 1st. You know what November 1st is?
No.
Guess what? The anniversary when I sold my house. It's been a year.
Holy, are you serious? It's been a year already?
November 1st will be a year. So I told her I ain't working November 1st.
Wow.
Can
God,
you believe it went that quick?
I
So, guys,
cannot believe it's been a
this is the
year.
thing. Can you believe it?
I cannot
Yes.
believe it. A
Yes.
year
Because I
already.
signed it in August of last year.
Uh-huh.
And then it complete November 1st. That's when I
Wow.
sold it to Zillow. Can you believe it?
A
Yeah. So I'm
year.
just saying, y'all, I think I'm kidding. Word. So look at this. Where am I? Maxine, that's my damn name. Ain't no shame in my game. November 21st, see that blacked out?
Yeah.
To the 29th. But I'm coming back the 30th because I'm off. See what I'm saying?
Nice. Wow. Wow.
So
Blacked
November
out
1st,
already
I'm
ahead
gonna
of
do whatever
time.
the hell I want to do.
Wow. See, I want people to not only see it, I want them to hear it from a person in it doing it so they
Let
can
me tell
feel
you,
it.
my driving is different. I was always a nervous driver, but now I'm
Mhm.
more calm. I take my time. Motherfuckers go around.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you were
And one thing I
so
noticed too,
you were
huh?
always a nervous driver.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So it's a lot of stuff, stress and debt will affect you
Mm,
in different
mm,
ways.
mhm.
Another thing I just noticed the other day, it was like I always call myself the black blonde, right? Because I'm
Okay,
not good with directions, like going from one place to another.
okay.
Even
Oh,
if I live in
gotcha,
my
gotcha.
hometown, for real,
Okay.
that improved. It's like it's going away
Really?
because of
Wow,
fucking
okay.
stress. I've
Stress.
had stress ever since I got the hell out the army.
Oh,
With
oh,
going to
okay.
college, taking out loans,
Mm,
credit
mm,
cards to help me get through all this shit.
mm.
Remember the
Wow.
stress with the house. So
Yes.
yeah, because one day I noticed how, and you know how things come to you, your head or
Yeah,
whatever,
I
and it
know
was
I know how it
like,
comes. Yeah.
yo,
Mhm.
you don't get lost, because I moved to a new an apartment, and
Uh-huh.
I'm like, you don't get lost, you know what I'm saying?
And that used to be a problem for you.
Yeah, and I think
Wow.
it was stress, things like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Plus, I'm taking a statin, so sometimes that'll help you get foggy too.
I don't know what that is.
Statin is for cholesterol. Remember, you
Okay.
say you have
Okay.
cholesterol.
Okay.
Like if you have high cholesterol,
Uh-huh. Okay. No, no, because
yeah,
I
it's a
I know,
medication.
like I said, to convert the energy, the stress energy into positive energy gives you
Right.
energy to think better and more clear. That's what I believe. I
Yes.
believe I believe the conversion of the energy from the negative energy created by stress converted to
Yes,
the positive energy, which gives your brain the energy it needs to reach. I think
exactly.
personally, to reach parts in your brain that are we really don't reach because we're using that energy on stressful things in your life, right? Now that it's slowly being removed altogether, now that energy is being turned into
Exactly.
something positive into your brain. That's what I believe.
Right. So it's being converted to something else. Because as you
Correct.
say, and it's a fact, energy cannot be destroyed nor created.
Correct.
It's there. So it just
Yes.
transforms.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
You
for
see what
sure.
I'm
It
saying? So
transforms,
yeah,
and I think that's what's happening. That energy in your brain's being converted. Now you're able to clearly retain directions or whatever it is that was
yeah.
stopping you from doing
I
that.
don't know. I can't explain it. I just call myself the black blonde man for real. Like where am I? Oh, I should have turned right and I turned left for real. I mean
Oh,
now
okay,
you
like
like
that.
that, but I
Okay,
don't have that issue anymore.
nice. Okay, that's a good thing. I like that. I like
Yeah,
hearing
and
the
I
story.
woke up one day and I just woke up and it's like something said, "Hey, you don't have this problem anymore."
Mm,
And I said,
mm,
"Oh shit."
yeah. Yeah, I like those. I like those times where you wake up and something just pop. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not doing this
Yeah,
no
and then
more.
something just come to your mind because
Correct.
I don't know if it's God speaking, my head, my ancestors, I
Right.
don't know. But
Right.
it's like they let you know.
Correct.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yes, they
So
do.
'cause sometimes you're like, well, I know I still have some stress, but it's self-induced. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Well,
So I'm
it gets removed slowly. It
right.
don't disappear at one shot. You know what I'm saying? You just see it.
Exactly.
It starts to become an addiction because you start to see it dissipating, and you're like, "Ooh, I want more good energy in my
Yeah.
life. What else can I remove?" Just like when you did debt, when you slowly get out of debt, move the debt pieces, pay off one by one, it gets better and better. It's the
Yeah.
same way in your personal life, removing whatever the thing that's causing stress, you move it piece by piece, and then one day it's just gone, just like removing the last debt out of your
Yeah.
life. Same thing.
Yes. And it's like it's gradual. And then one day you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, I don't feel such a way when I drive, when I do this. I definitely notice a difference when I drive.
Yeah.
It's like soon as I paid that off, the house, I was like, shit. I'm like, fuck it, go around.
Right. Right. Well, thank
People
you,
are mad with me. I
Omanike.
don't care.
I
You're
appreciate you
welcome.
jumping
Yeah,
up here.
I just had to let people know because when you're in it for so long, which is debt, you don't realize how it affects you,
Hmm.
you know.
Yep.
So it will affect your health, it will affect you mentally.
Yes,
So
it
get rid
will.
of it. Do whatever you gotta do to get rid of
All right. I
it. All
appreciate
right.
it,
See
Omanike.
y'all
Thank
later.
you. All right. Bye
All
bye.
right.
Love that. Love it. What's up, Robert?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir.
Had a tough week.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Not but no, one that I did. I was gonna say, well, I might ask you a question, but I was gonna say, my manager and the operation manager called me to their office, right? And I had gotten written up for productivity, meaning I didn't make my rate, I didn't make my quote, right?
Is this something recent? This is a recent thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
So my manager was telling the operation managers of the facility, they was like, well, he works hard, he takes care of his little boy, he's working a second job, and like telling like all kinds of stuff about me. So when this was going on, the operation managers looked at me, as white guy in the military. He looked at me and told me, he was like, you need to get your degree and get a desk job. I'm like, really?
What? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
You're in a meeting?
No, yeah, between my manager, it was just me, my operation manager, and my regular manager.
And who said you need to get your degree and get a desk job?
The head manager of the facility.
Now, how did he say it? In a negative way or a mean way?
No,
How's he saying this to you?
he's saying he said it to me like in a debt slave kind of way,
Like
meaning
talking down to you?
a little bit. But he was
Hmm.
like saying like he was like because he brought up the economy. He said that if it wasn't for the military, I'll be doing the same thing you'd be doing, which is working 2 jobs because I'm financially struggling. So my black ass, I asked him this question. I was like, "Do you have a mortgage?" He said, "Yes." I was like, "Oh, that explains it." I'm like, "I don't have a mortgage, but you do."
Uh-huh.
So it's like you projecting onto me your
Yes.
insecurities.
Yes, for sure. Okay. Did you say this in the meeting, or what'd you say?
Yes, I said that exact same thing to him to a meeting.
What was his response?
He was like, "Well, I wish I'd known that. Like, I wish I had known that, this I had this mortgage and all this debt to pay." And it's like when you at the warehouse job like I am,
Mhm.
a lot of people look at you differently when you're free.
Of
That's
course.
another thing.
Of
But
course.
yeah, but I didn't to see that even the head managers are.
Oh, yeah. Now that meeting would seem very odd. I mean, how did it
No.
go? How did the whole thing go? I'm curious.
Oh no, I was supposed to go anyway. It was just I was getting written up for not making rate. It was my first time getting written up for not being productive. Because at
Mhm.
warehouse jobs you gotta make rate. It was just a closed door meeting in his office between me, the operations manager, and just my regular supervisor. It was
No,
just
I
like
mean
three of.
after you said the reason why you can't leave or multiple jobs because uh you have a mortgage. What happened after that point? Did you guys did you guys go back to the subject at hand? Was you being written up, or how'd that go?
Oh no, he didn't go back to the subject at hand. I was just being written up. It was just like dismissive of it. But he was
Oh,
like, but he looked it very upset when he admitted to me that he was financially struggling because he was like, if it wasn't for the military, he would be in a very bad shape financially.
oh, because he gets money from being in the military.
Correct. But
Oh, so
if
oh,
he just had the regular job, one job by itself, plus with the mortgage and like his cars and stuff, he told me straight he'll be in pretty bad shape.
damn, he told you all that in a meeting?
Yep, he told me that directly.
What the hell? That's a weird thing to talk about.
It is. Because
Wow.
my supervisor brung up the fact that I was working day and I worked night for a little bit. She brung all this up. I didn't. I was just
Why would he suggest that you get a second job get your degree and was he saying that because of himself? He think
yes,
he think he should that's what he should have did.
correct. Because
Oh,
I met him doing my orientation. He was like pushing the idea of us going to school, getting our degrees and stuff, and getting
okay.
the degree program to the job.
Gotcha.
But I get that all the time though from different coworkers. They're like,
Mm.
you don't, I was telling you before, I get that whole you don't look like you belong here.
Right,
Like
right,
you
right, right, right. Okay.
and I'm just becoming more acceptive of it. I don't be getting stressed about it. I just be becoming more
Right.
acceptive of it.
Now tell me this. How did you feel? Well, let's help people feel this part. How did you feel when they brought you in to talk about getting written up? What was your feeling of the whole process? How
It
was you
was
feeling inside? Were you nervous? Were you scared, or what was it?
I was I wasn't scared. I was just nervous because I didn't know what I was getting written up for. But I was nervous and then they told me that I had to work on my productivity, which is to work
Well,
faster, like
how did you not know? How did you not know you going? You know what I'm saying? Did you not know you wasn't meeting your numbers?
correct. I didn't know.
You did not know.
I did not know
Okay,
until
how did you not know? Don't they tell you?
no. For example, it's like a weekly percentage goal. Like they
Okay.
don't tell you until that following week. Yeah,
Well,
it's not.
my point is this: how can they write you up for something that they didn't tell you what to do? That doesn't make sense to me.
Oh no, they tell you like when you first start, like you gotta ship out 4,200 units per day, which is 420 items per hour.
But you knew you didn't do that though, right?
No, I didn't knew. I wasn't even thinking about it. I didn't know until like I got into the office. They was like, it was just like a warning, but they was like, well, you wasn't hitting your target goal. Your
Okay.
target goal is like 101%,
Mm-hmm.
and my percentage was like 92%.
That's some hard work, man. You do. That's physical work, right?
Yes.
Uh,
They was like, are there problems at home?
what?
They be asking like, what's going on? Like, do you got issues at home? Are you in financial trouble?
Oh
Are
boy.
you dealing with stress? Yeah, they ask you these type
Wow.
of questions now.
Wow. So they ask you those questions since you wasn't hitting your numbers. They're asking those questions. Now, I'm not
Yep,
saying they're irrelevant questions because I'm sure it does play part, but damn, wow, okay.
they go hard, man.
Wow,
And
okay.
then, yeah, I said the same thing. I wasn't stressed. I was just like sitting down, just taking it all in. I'd be like, something is telling me to do better.
Of course, that's exactly what that is. You're right. That's exactly what's happening because it's you like you go to meetings like that, it's almost like you don't need to be here. This is
Yeah,
I don't need to be in this place talking to you, talking about your problems, especially being overruled by a debt slave, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was just weird, but at the same time, I wasn't upset or stressed about it. I think I was just accepting of the fact that it's time for me to do better.
Right. Because that would
So
make a lot of people nervous. Oh my God, they're gonna fire me. Oh no.
I'm not nervous about being fired or anything like that either.
Right.
Because the reason being is like when you do so much physical labor,
Mhm.
it's like you kind of relieved of it.
Right.
Where
Right.
I'm telling you, man, loading up them boxes in that truck is no joke.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do it. I ain't gonna lie. I can't do that kind of. I knew when I was young that I wasn't a physical labor type of person. That's why I got into computers because I didn't want to do physical labor. So I
I
got
mean,
into computers.
indeed, I don't blame you because,
I
like,
knew I
again,
wanted to be at a desk in a computer screen inside of an office, inside of a temperature controlled office. I knew I wanted to be there, so that's what I did.
yeah, that's my next goal right now. So that's what I was going to ask you.
Mhm.
I'm 40 years old. I'm divorced, one kid I take care of, and after the divorce, like I have no criminal record or nothing of that nature. What
Mhm.
would you do at my age?
Uh, I would I would for now because you got to stack your money. I'd be looking for a different job because that seems like that job is causing you stress.
Yes,
Right now, because you got to stack your money to free yourself, right?
right.
I would look for a different job that's not gonna cause you stress.
Gotcha.
Because you gotta get yourself from around. You got right now. You have to have a job because you got to stack your money. So, but you can be around different type of people at a job.
Right.
Because in a warehouse job, you're going to be around a certain type of people. You already know that.
Yes, sir.
And then so you got to just go find you another job that's not stressful while you stack your bread. And while the whole time you're stacking your money, you need to start thinking about your business,
Yes.
whatever it's going to be. You got to think about it.
Yes, indeed. I had my buddy call me up and we was talking about this because well, backstory, over earlier this week, someone that I know I went to school with, I've been friends with for close to 15 years. He had took some fentanyl and he jumped off a third-story building in Richmond.
Oh boy. Mm.
So my friend was shooken up about this, and he was like saying, the stress did it, and well, he was going through caused it, and I had to like console him as a counselor. I almost had to play counselor and
Mm.
be like, we don't know if he was on suicide or fentanyl, but the thing is, he was dealing with a lot of stress.
Mm. Yeah. Well, a lot of people take drugs to try to get away from the stress and not stopping to say what is causing the stress. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because
Yes,
they don't
sir.
realize all they have to do, they don't really need the drugs to do it. The drugs are just masking it, right?
Yes.
All they got to do is just remove the cause of the stress, and then it's gone.
That's how I had to learn had to remove the stress. So I definitely at my night job it's less stressful than my day job. But I'm just like you, I'm just stacking up my bread. And I just been learning how, because this is open enrollment period at my job. So I learned, so I did like, you know, rework the whole HSA stuff, did all types of different insurances. And I just learned about the triple tax bracket. So that saved me a lot of money right there.
Right.
So that helps out a lot. But it just now that I'm, you know, becoming more accepting of it, I realized that the type of energy that they was trying to put on me, I have to get away from that.
Yes. And this is what I want you to do, man. This is what I want you to do. Right? Like, you know how you put the debts in order?
Yes.
Write down all your stresses, your
Yes.
fears. Write them all down on a piece of paper. Put them in order from the least scariest to the scariest, and do it just like debt. So if the job is, you know, if your job is number 3, once you get to that, you start looking for another job. And then go on to the next stress. It's going to help you faster along your journey, especially at the age you're at right now, because you're only 40, right? When you're 40, you think it's old. Oh my God, I'm 40. But you're not, you're saying that because you are 40. But once you get to 50, you're going to be like, oh, 40 wasn't that old. You know, you think it is. It's not, right? And same thing, like I'm 52 now. I don't think 52 is old. But I also take care of myself though, too. But I also know that the 52-year-olds don't look like me. They don't have 6 packs and stuff like that. That's because I took care of myself.
Absolutely.
So do that. Write down all your, especially the stresses. I think stress and fear is the same thing. So just write those in order and just work on them just like you did debt. And it's going to convert that energy, because stress creates negative energy. It's going to take that, just like the snowball method, same thing. You take the money, then once that debt's paid off, and then you move on to the next thing. Same thing with you remove the negative energy, that converts it to good. Now you got more good energy. Then you move on to the next thing that's causing it. Remove that converts that's the good. And then it's so on and so on. Same thing.
I'm definitely going to do that no sooner as I get off here. I'm definitely going to work on that.
Do that, man. Put it on a piece of paper so you can see it. Because it helps you identify even the fears that you might not even want to face. You know, because there's some things that happen in your life that you're like, oh, I'm gonna block it out. I don't want to deal with it. Pretend that it's not there. But fear is just there. Fear is like, hey, I ain't going nowhere until you talk to me.
Right.
That's what it says. I'm going nowhere until you talk to me. And then once you talk to it, it's usually what I found in my life. Fear is usually the gateway to the next chapter or level in my life.
Yes, sir.
It's like fear. My fears are like, hey man, I'm just here to show you something. Here, look. That's it.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that program. I'm definitely doing that right now. Oh, and by the way, I started school. Well, not started, but in the spring semester, I'm almost done.
With what?
We get my degree.
Oh, I didn't know you was in school.
Yes, I only got for like a little bit more classes left, but I paid my classes like with financial aid and also out of pocket.
Okay.
Because when I was talking to my advisor, he was like, "Don't get no student loan," and I took his advice. Because in state, it's like my classes was financial aid paid most of it, but I only had to pay for like a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm almost done. So I just had a lot on my plate, but I'm just like been progressing forward.
What is your degree in?
Oh, my degree is information systems technology.
Okay.
Yeah,
what you looking to get into?
Oh, cybersecurity.
Okay. That's a good, I think that's a good like being a formal, I think virtualization is good. I was a virtualization engineer. Cybersecurity is most definitely good because They're definitely going to need those type of people, because especially when currency goes 100% digital, they're going to really need some cybersecurity people. So that's a good position.
Indeed. Because they also recommended I get a business management degree. I probably get my just an associates in business management, just in case if I wanted to do my own business in cybersecurity, I would at least have like a foundation on what I should be doing, like accounting and all that good stuff.
Well, you got to remember with this, the advantage that you have with SMD, you know how to pick. If you want to do that, you know how to pick the right business professional to help you organize that properly.
Absolutely.
You get a person who's debt free. They'll tell you exactly what to do, so you don't have to be guessing at anything.
Yes,
so
sir.
It's not when you're ready to make that move, you just say, I need a debt free person, and then that's it.
Yes, I'm definitely getting a debt free tax
Oh, that's a requirement right there. That's a requirement.
Tax free, worker, and a debt free accountant.
Debt-free accountant, debt-free tax attorney, or whatever. Put it this way: anybody that's going to be working directly with your money or your taxes, they must be personally debt-free.
Yes,
that's a requirement. But if you find a business tax professional who's debt-free, you struck gold right there. Gold. Gold. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Indeed. Yeah,
right,
but thank you. I'll have a good Sunday. It's bright out there.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful, man. I'm about to sit in the back and enjoy some of this sun, man. Thank you.
Indeed. Have a good one.
You too, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Hopefully this video reaches some young people, or not even just young people, at any point in your life. But this is what I want to leave you this. I want to leave this with you, okay? The latest, I believe that waking up, 45 is the latest. Okay? If you haven't woken up from the debt matrix by age 45, and you're still doing the things that got you to the point of this much debt, and you're still doing them at age 45, you're going to be in some trouble. Because time is no longer on your side. The best, your working years are your younger years. That's people, regardless of how people feel about it, the businesses are going to hire younger people, trainable people that they can mold according to their policies and values of the company. I get it's just business, nothing personal. You got a limited time. You do. You have a limited time. If you ain't woke up by 45 and you have, say like you're 45 and you have $100,000 in student loan debt and you're making $40,000 a year, you're going to be in some trouble. I'm not saying it can't be done, but at that age, say like you make $40,000, put it this way, say like you make $40,000 a year, you got $100,000 in student loan debt that you've had for the last 10, 15 years, which equals that you also have other debts. Because you cannot have student loan debt that long without having other debts. That can be done, but it's going to take a lot of sacrifice. Probably, put it this way, if you're 45, $100,000 in student loan debt, and you got a whole credit card debt, car loan debt, you got all the stuff in collections and this and that. At 45, the only thing you could probably do, making $40,000 a year, is move home with your parents. Share a room with this, maybe got older adult kids, maybe they got a house that you can live in a room or something, but you're gonna have to move in with somebody. And then you're gonna probably have to go see a bankruptcy lawyer to see if you can file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. See if you can get approved for that. And then after all that debt is removed, if you get approved for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, because everybody's not guaranteed to get it, but you so happen to get approved for it, now you take every single penny that you make from your $40,000 a year job and you put it towards off your student loan debt, because that's the only way you're going to get out of it. If you want to be out of student loan debt by at least 55, If you're 45 today, every penny has to go from your $40,000 a year job. It has to go to the student loan debt. It has to. It was good to catch live. I have been sleeping in and resting. Everyone have a great weekend. Thank you, Malika. What'd you say, Nick? Join local Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I actually started this Friday. I'm a white belt already. I am a white belt, LJ. Okay, cool. It's body psychology, or you can look at it like body chess. Okay. No, I like that. Thank you, Nick. It's like, I like hearing things that people do when, just trying different things. Once you discover yourself, you'll notice you'll start doing different things and involving yourself in different things. It's nice. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. I guess we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. Catch the rebroadcast later. And if you're new to the channel, please don't hesitate to share the channel to people. I would love to go on other podcasts and talk about what I do and how I can help people. And if somebody catches this later that knows a young college prospect that could possibly be drafted in one of the professional sports, and they need some guidance, maybe it's you. Maybe you are the college student that's about to be drafted, and you're just nervous about it because you're going to get all this money, and you're not going to want to. You're going to feel bad if people ask you for it, and they're going to think you're supposed to. I can help you with all that. I will teach you the power of no at a very young age, which will make you a multimillionaire. Just with the understanding of the power of no. Okay. All right, you guys have a wonderful morning. Later.